Hello, everyone, and happy Tuesday. We just want to welcome you to Let's Be Real here in radioinnovacion.com, your radio, your blessing. We are so excited to be here another Tuesday where we are able to get together and just share the Word of God. So we want to welcome you. I'm Gabriela.
I'm Caesar.
And I am Luis.
And like we said, we are so happy to be here tonight to be able to share again with you guys. And, on this wonderful Tuesday evening, I want to start off by just saying, how are you guys doing? Maybe everyone that's like tuning in tonight can't like tell us how they're doing or how their day was, but I know here at least we can share a little bit of how our day has been, how have we been and stuff, which is good because I think it allows our followers and everyone tuning in to be able to get to know us a little bit and to understand like where we're coming from, what we do on Tuesdays before the program, because sometimes they only get to know like the program side of us, but this way they get to learn a little bit maybe about our families, what we do in our everyday life. And it's good because it's kind of along with what we're going to be speaking on tonight. Like, I guess not our testimonies, but kind of just stuff that we're going through, because this is a program about like being real and sharing everything, not just the good, but the bad as well, and like everything in between. So we just want to be honest with you guys. But I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I know I didn't do much today. I went to school.
Nice.
Well, I went to go visit a school actually. So the guys know, but if you're tuning in, you might not know. Currently, I am looking into doing a medical assisting program with phlebotomy as well. Phlebotomy is just a fancy word for taking blood, okay?
Yep.
Taking people.
Nice.
No. So I'm looking into doing a program, and I went because I heard there's a waiver for me able to do it. So I want to go talk to a counselor and talk to the people at the front desk and everything. So I didn't do anything interesting besides that, but I was very happy. God is opening doors, so that's
Yeah, of course.
awesome. What about you guys? What did you guys do today?
Today I actually worked again. No, it's funny because I guess last week I was kind of saying, work is tiring, and it is, but I feel like since I was used to doing nothing at home, it kind of was hard to start having something to do that required the whole day and stuff. But actually this week it felt better. I mean, the day was still, it didn't go as fast as I wish it would have. But now it's cool. I like it because I get to interact with people, be able to talk to people, make friends, like coworkers, like, get to spend time with them, build relationships and joke around and stuff. And yeah, it's cool. I like it. It makes the day feel more productive and like have meaning to it, I guess.
That's good. I think definitely when you go from like not doing much to doing a job, especially like learning, I think everything. I remember when I started my first job, I had to memorize a bunch of codes because I worked as a cashier. So I know every job is different, but it's truly a learning process, and it's fun if you get along with your coworkers, and it's a new experience that I think makes, like you said, the day feel more productive and stuff.
Yeah.
What about you, Caesar? How was your day?
My day was good. I worked. I had a little scared today that I was gonna make it tonight, but God is good. He cleared up traffic, and it was it was kind of like easy day because we had just finished a job, but we had to go back and when you have dirty hands, like especially when it's white paint, you leave handprints, and so you gotta go back and repaint it.
Yeah, you gotta fix it.
Yeah, just we were doing little touch-ups, and then that was just like half the day, and then we went to another job site, and then we were doing a lot of stuff, and then they called us back because they had ordered a light, and we thought it was gonna get there tomorrow. So, but the guy called my dad. He's like, hey, the light just came in. You think you can come install it right now? Just drop whatever everything you're doing, just come and you can go home. And I was like, let's do it. So we put everything away, and then we ran over to the other job and finished that. And glory to God, we finished that job.
That's
awesome. It was a hassle. That job, I feel like that job was like, it was a hassle. Like especially at the very end. Because it's all the little things, it's the little things that set you back. Like you finish everything and just put in basically if you know about remodeling and stuff, like construction, it's the little the it's either the Coke that you gotta put, the baseboard, you know, just putting
Or
the
sometimes
touch-ups.
even mistakes that
Yes,
that
yeah,
cause.
dude,
Because I
yeah.
know for us, we would paint sometimes too, and then the chalan or something would trip and spill the paint on the floor and the
Uh-huh.
carpet, and you're just like, whoa, bro, we're about to turn in the house, and now we gotta clean the carpet or change the carpet, and it adds on. But I
Yeah, dude,
understand.
no, yeah, it happens. Yeah.
Dang, that's a lot of work. But you know what? Work is a blessing.
Yeah,
So
it is.
it's awesome. It's awesome to
Not
hear that
complaining.
we're all doing something productive with our lives,
Yeah.
right? But I wanted to share some news actually that I saw floating around the internet this
Alright.
week. Something interesting and something that I know is gonna affect a lot of us, maybe.
Alright,
Okay.
let's hear it.
So I don't know if you guys heard, but Netflix is sending a warning to customers about password sharing. So like I don't know, right? Maybe you're the person out there that likes to share their account, likes to like split it up. I've heard it happen within families, you know, because Netflix can be very pricey. I understand. Yeah, bless you.
I mean, I come. Thank you, you know.
I understand that Netflix can be expensive, but they're like doing a whole program and everything to make sure that sharing accounts doesn't happen. So because, I mean, think about it, when we share accounts or if you share accounts, Netflix loses money because instead of having like five different people pay for a premium account or something, it's just one person paying for five people. So they're doing that and they like posted about it and look out for an email if you have Netflix. They're saying that they're going to be sending it out. They're not going so much for the people that like live in the same household or like that have the same IP address and stuff, but they do want to do it for like friends that split it between them and like share an account and stuff just because they don't think it's fair to them. I mean, I get it. It's their business, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to make money, but I just thought it was interesting to see that because in my mind, I thought it was so funny. I was like, I know so many people that
Hispanics.
that like share accounts. Gotta save money.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man, you know, you
Save
gotta do what
money,
you
live
gotta
better.
But did
Walmart.
you hear about that Paramount? You remember Paramount is the I think company or that
I think it's a corporation or company.
corporation that would play those old cartoons.
Yeah.
So I guess they're making their own platform like Netflix, Disney
No
Plus.
way.
And so they're bringing back all those old cartoons. And
Just
I was
something
just
else
like,
to pay.
wow, freaking nostalgia's about to come through.
I know, but you know what? I think that that's just gonna cause Netflix to like have less people subscribe to it because I know like I'm not a huge movie person, but when I did watch movies, it was either with like my sister or my mom. And I mean, we love Disney movies, right? Like I
Yeah.
grew up on Disney, so I would watch a lot of Disney movies. So I like stopped using Netflix because I was like, okay, I'm gonna move to like Disney Plus now. And then we got Hulu because of our phone plan, and I was like, well, I mean, it's already included, so might as well use it, right?
Yeah.
So that like I switched to that, and I just feel like all these like corporations and stuff that are making their own apps and stuff, they're just gonna like Netflix is gonna not
Yeah,
have business
competition,
anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, competition and stuff, which is good though. Like I know a lot of people would enjoy that, like nostalgia and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I know I grew up on Disney and like Looney Tunes and all that stuff. Like I remember coming from school and being so excited to watch that. So
Yeah.
I'll definitely be looking forward to that. On another like,
Wait,
go for it.
Before we move on, do you guys have Disney Plus?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you had it, right? You had it at one point.
Yeah.
You guys had it at one point. What was your favorite show on there?
Favorite
I
show?
would just watch movies.
Yeah, I didn't watch shows. I watched
recently
movies.
WandaVision.
Me
WandaVision?
too. That's what I
I haven't
saw.
watched that one, but
It's so good.
I remember one thing that me and my brother used to watch a lot when we were kids was were three things. It was Zeke and Luther. They don't have it on Disney Plus. I was like, what the heck?
I
but-
never saw that.
Pair of Kings.
Oh,
Pair
yeah,
of
I heard
Kings,
of
yeah,
that
I
one.
used to
That's
watch
on
that.
Disney. That's on Disney Plus. And I think they just added the Sweet Life on Deck.
No,
Yeah. So like.
You know what? Actually, not on Disney Plus, but I stopped using Netflix for a while. But I think it was this month or last month that iCarly got put on Netflix, and I like.
Everybody's watching that.
The-
iCarly.
Yes, like I've been loving that so much because I grew up on that, and like now being older and like understanding certain references that I didn't as a child, because I mean I didn't understand
Yeah.
certain things, so now I'm like, Dang, this
Do
is a really good show.
Do you guys ever do that though? Like, you guys watch a movie as a little kid, and then like you watch it now as you're older, and like you actually get the message.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I was the only one, but that's good.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's because when you're younger, you're like,
just
you
pay more
don't know
attention to
much.
animation, basically.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Oh my goodness. So the other day, actually, now that you guys mentioned Disney Plus, I was watching Soul and I did not finish it. Like, I need to get on
that's a
that.
good
I
movie,
need to, like,
That's a good
finish
one.
it. But from the part that I got, like, it was so good. I was, like, so into the movie. I was like, oh my God. Like, how did I not watch this sooner? But, it was so crazy. I got to the part where they go back into the body, both of
Uh-huh.
them, and one of them is a cat, and the other is like the person, right?
Yeah.
The guy. But I thought it was just so cool, the concept and everything, and truly, even if it's a kids movie and stuff, I love being able to just like really grasp the message of the movie
Yeah.
because there's always something to learn from it. I don't know if you guys noticed that. Even from like kids movies, adult movies, any like it doesn't even have to be Christian movie. Like there is always a message behind it. And it's awesome that we can learn things from it, you know? We can learn from other people's experience. We can learn from just a show and stuff like that. And there's not always bad things. There can be good things that we can also learn from these shows. So, truly, like, these platforms, these apps are taking over TV right now. You know, we don't even use, like, what is it?
Dish Latino.
Yeah, Dish or Comcast or On Demand. I know I haven't had a TV in my room since I was probably like 9 or 10 or even younger. Like, I remember it was when YouTube had just come out, because YouTube came out in 2005, but I didn't have a computer then until I was like 10 or so. And I remember just loving YouTube and going on that. And even now, if you guys see, kids love that. Like, kids prefer YouTube or movies or other stuff rather than just watching TV because I feel like there's not good shows anymore.
Yeah.
Growing up, like, what was your favorite show growing up? Oh my gosh, I'll start. I loved Dragon Tales growing up. That was my show. If there was one show in the world that I could rewatch over and over again is Dragon Tales. And movie, Fox in the House. But what about you guys? Did you guys have a favorite show?
So for me, I feel like one thing that I was very excited because I didn't start watching TV. Like we watched TV, but we usually watched like we would usually play video games because we had the PS2 had recently just came out. And we were just on that thing like all day.
Hold up. Now that you're talking about the PS2. Did you guys ever play Jack and Dexter?
Yes.
That was such a good game.
That was such amazing. You never played
I
it?
don't think so.
Dude,
What's it about?
It's
It's
literally
like an
about,
adventure
yeah.
game.
It's like a real person and then there's like a little like a
It's like a pet,
have you
but
ever-
it's another person.
Have you ever played Ratchet and Clank? You never played Ratchet and
We'll
Clank?
have to show you that
Oh,
after.
yeah,
It's a
but,
really good game.
But well, for me, like I was saying, me and my brother usually we would just play like the PS2,
Yeah.
and like that's basically what we do until like we moved over. Like it was like elementary. When we moved to like 5th grade, we would I would be super excited to see. So I've always liked music. So one thing I don't know if you guys remember this show, Austin and Ally.
That, yeah.
I know.
You never watched
I
it?
feel like I'm just
Luis.
I'm a different era or something. I don't know.
Austin
Well, you're older.
I used to watch Austin and Ally. Zeke and Luther was like one of my favorite shows. What do you call it? The Sweet Life.
The Sweet Life.
Sweet Life, Zack and Cody. Sweet Life
that
on
was
Deck.
like your era.
Yeah, this was like my era.
I feel like we're all kind of different because like we don't range super differently from ages, but we're
Mhm.
like a year difference all. I
Yeah.
feel like you're the youngest one, then it's me, and then it's Luis.
Yeah.
So
Man, she call you old, bro.
Because I would hang out with my brother a lot, and I would do stuff that he would do. So
okay.
Whatever video games he would play, whatever TV shows he would watch.
But I think we had a cool time growing up. Not that this generation doesn't, right? But I think we were.
different.
They're very different,
really
and I
different.
feel like when we were growing up, technology was just a thing.
Yeah.
Like it was
Yeah.
very new, so it was very exciting for all of us. I remember when like the Nintendo came out, Nintendo DS or DSi, and all of that.
Bro, I was alive when let's see if you guys remember this one, Atari.
Atari, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
No.
Atari, what's it called?
The
Nintendo
Nintendo
64.
Oh, Nintendo
Ah,
64.
dude,
I had
the
that.
Nintendo
Sega.
Cube.
I had the
GameCube.
cube.
The GameCube. Oh, dude. I remember we would play Smash Bros. On that thing
Yeah,
all
that's
day, dude.
The
Crazy.
Game Boy Advance. I grew up with
Dude.
those.
And now, like, 2-year-olds have phones.
Oh, for reals.
Oh my
Did
goodness.
you ever have PSP?
Yeah, I had that, bro. I got a La Pulga, bro. 'cause
Me too.
all the games. in there.
That's crazy. But, you know, it's good to talk about our childhood, and
Yeah.
it's good to remember on things,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I know that a lot of people tuning in can also relate to a lot of the things that we're sharing. But
Unless they're older than us.
yeah, but they have their things that they can
Yeah.
remember on and reminisce and just be nostalgic and
Yeah,
stuff.
of
But
course.
moving on to our topic on tonight, I don't know if Luis, you want to go ahead and start and share a little bit about it,
Yeah.
so we can dive into it and really share tonight what's on our hearts.
Yeah, so basically, we've been talking about all these topics, right? But this week, God put it in our heart to bring up the topic of life, or what we expect out of life. Because I know many of us are doing school, others, outside of right after high school, some prefer to go straight to work, others went to school. Some people just go to school but still don't know what they want to study and stuff. And so we want to start touching on these topics of, what we've gone through, what our thoughts are on it, and all this stuff. And I guess we'll mention it later, but the movie Soul kind of could relate to this topic
Yeah.
in a way.
I agree.
But yeah, recently, or it's been a while now that me, Gabby, and Caesar have been sharing to each other, about our lives. And I feel like we all relate in this point of our lives because I guess, like we said, we're around the same age. We're all going through different things, but at the same time, we kind of connect in the same situation of like, what's next, right? Because for me, I'm in school, like I mentioned many times. I transferred to Sacramento. I did community college, and I'm about to graduate this May of this year. But
Congratulations.
thank you.
Yeah, congrats.
But throughout this last semester, it's not that I'm scared, but it's more of like worry because I had put this plan, by this time I should have already had an internship or a job leading me to a better job once I graduate, right? And I mean, this semester started and I didn't have that. Nothing, I never got responses. I never got a job up until now, which is not a job related to what I want to do, but it's just, a temporary job. But like I was saying, throughout this process, I feel like 'cause I'm the type of person that likes to have things under control. Because when I would go to community college, I would plan my own classes. I would plan my schedule. I would know that, all right, after school, I got to go to church. After church, I got to go back home, do some homework, and have everything, keep myself busy, but yet be productive. And I like to multitask. And so right now, in this point in my life where I only have 2 classes, is like, I had so much free time. And I was sharing with Gabby and Caesar that being home kind of affected me in a negative way because I'm the type of person that wants to be productive, that wants to do like all sorts of things, and see some type of improvement or some type of progress in my life. But recently, that was going on. I didn't have much, and I was kind of losing motivation. I would come to church, do these podcasts, but I desired more. But at the same time, I didn't, what's it called, force myself to kind of get up and do it. Like I would say I have all these things to do, but yeah, I wouldn't do them, right? And so I just felt lost. I felt like I had no, I don't want to say purpose, but I had no direction. And in a sense, like, I would talk to God, but I wouldn't really, stay still and be like, all right, God, like, what is it that you want me to go through? What are you trying to teach me and all this stuff? But instead, like, I was being stubborn and try to do things my own way. But after, sharing with Gabby and Caesar, I felt kind of good that we could connect in these things. And it's good because you could talk to it with each other, share what you've both been going through, where you came from, where you're going, how you're feeling, what are your thoughts on it. And so, yeah, that's basically where I'm at. And now, thanks to God, I got this job, although it's not, related to what I want to do, but it kind of, I feel like there's emotion starting to go. I don't feel like I'm stuck anymore. I feel like there's something going. And, I mean, I'm gonna just keep trusting in God, and I'm gonna start, talking to Him more, because I know when we lose communication with God, that's when He tries to teach you something.
Mm-hmm.
He's not gonna, keep forcing you to talk to Him. He's a gentleman. He allows whatever you want to do to happen, but He's always gonna love you. He's always gonna be there, and He's gonna, let the Holy Spirit touch you and let you know, like, what you're doing is wrong. You need God. He's gonna show you why you need God. And so yeah, that's my side. I don't know if you guys want to share yours.
For sure. I mean, the reason we wanted to bring this up and talk about it is because we can come and share, about God. And we're not saying that, like, we're not going to talk about God. On the contrary, I feel like our life and what we go through daily is when, like, the most we need God.
Mm-hmm.
But, sometimes we might bring up the topic, like we spoke on a couple weeks ago, sin. We might talk on feeling lonely. We might talk on things that we're struggling with, overcoming temptation, all these other things. And it's all good. It's all awesome to learn. But sometimes I think we just have to be honest. And especially, like, with people our age, I know that it's really hard when it comes to knowing, like, what to do after college or applying to universities or knowing what you want to do for the rest of your life. It's not something simple, right? I know Caesar mentioned the other day, he was talking, like, I feel like our 20s is the time, like, is one of our hardest times because we really have to figure it all out. Like, what are we going to do for the rest of our life? It really sets, I think, the tone for our life, at least here on earth. So I know that, Luis was sharing his experience, and I'll talk a little bit about mine, and then I'll let Caesar share his, but we all have different stories, but it's awesome that we can all connect and, like, still understand each other, be there for each other. And I want to share, me personally, I graduated high school and I attended community college for a while. And I mean, I had to pay my own school. I've had problems since I graduated high school with FAFSA. I hadn't been able to, like, do my FAFSA or whatever. Like, I've been having problems. It's a whole nother story, okay? I'm not going to go into detail. But basically, I hadn't gotten any financial aid. I couldn't receive any other programs because most of them you have to at least, like, submit a FAFSA application, and I couldn't even do that. So up until recently, I was just struggling with the thought of, like, what am I going to do next? Or, like, I'm 21. Most people by my age are, like, about to graduate university, and I'm here, like, I haven't even transferred yet. Like, what am I going to do, right? Yeah. So it can be harsh. It can be really harsh. I know for me it's been hard because seeing people my age and a lot of my friends even that I went to school with graduate or, like, really close to finishing university, I'm like, Lord, like, what is it that you have next for me? Like, I don't understand. And recently, like, this semester, I had to, like, stop going to college because I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't, like, pay anymore. So I wanted to find a way for me to be able to, like, make more income on my own. So I've been praying about it, stuff like that. And recently, I've been given the opportunity to take like a program to be able to be a medical assistant along with phlebotomy and stuff. So, I mean, again, it was crazy expensive. It's like 10 grand, which I don't have the money for. And like I said, I can't apply for financial aid, although the school does take it for that program. So I found myself in a position where I was like, Lord, it's kind of really hard to trust right now because I feel like as a human, it seemed to me as like all the doors were closed, or all the doors that I could possibly imagine were closed. Like, parents, no money. Financial aid, no money. School, no money. I'm like, job, I don't make that much money. So,
but there's hope.
but there is hope. So I just, at least for me, like, as a human, I thought that everything, was just, like, over, I guess. And I went today to the school, and graciously, like, one of my friends just graduated from there with she did clinical medical assisting. So a different program, not the same. But she was able to refer me to a counselor who actually told her that there is a waiver that I can apply for. So for me, it hasn't been so easy as to going to university. Maybe Luis's story is a little bit different, but I can still see, like, God being there, and I can still see that, maybe completely for a long time I didn't understand like what is it that God wanted, but like little by little I'm seeing that like, you know, become more clear. You know, maybe I'm starting this program. I don't know what God wants for my life, but I know that if I trust him and I follow him, he will open up more opportunities. And it's hard, I think, when it's school and work and knowing what you want, because sometimes I know it happened to me being in high school when they would ask me like what do you want to do for the rest of your life. I thought like what is going to make me enough money to like sustain a family, because I know coming from a Hispanic family myself, you know, we aren't the richest people, like we don't have the best house or whatever, and I know that I want like I wanted at least my parents' sacrifice to be worth it, to be able to be like, you know what, they came to this country for an opportunity and I was able to take that opportunity and make it into like a blessing and an opportunity not only for me but for my siblings. So I understand that like a transition from being in like high school and college and not having maybe the same opportunities that everyone else has like taught me a lot in like, I guess, like trusting God. Because it's been a process and I like it's not done yet. I'm not here saying, you know, I know everything is like completely great. No, like I still, you know, the waiver isn't going to pay for the whole school. I still need to find a way to pay for that. But I know God will provide, and I won't go into super detail. I'll let Caesar tell his like experience with that. But I know that we all at one point struggle with what we want to do with our life. So if you're listening tonight and you don't know what you want or you don't know what your purpose is, like it can be so easy to see other people and think, how do they have it so easy? Or think like, how do they just know what they want? Like how, or like maybe the opportunities that they have. But God has a like perfect plan over each and every single one of our lives, and no plan is the same. You know, I like to think that he intricately took his time on each and every single one of us, and he truly, with our best interest in mind, he chose like a life set up of blessings if we only take the opportunity to like spend time with him and learn about him. Because the awesome thing is that when we take the time to come closer to God, everything that comes out of it is truly for our benefit and truly for our blessing, because he is such a selfless God that everything that he does is for us to be good. So God is awesome, you guys, and I'll let Caesar share his experience now.
So, so my experience is kind of not similar, but like almost the same. You know, we're all going to school. Well, at least for me in the moment, I'm not, due to some stuff that happened at school and that I have to pay back. But unlike Gabby, like I'm not trying to make, like, I'm not trying to. Like,
Go for it.
you know, I do have the support from like I was able to to apply for FAFSA, and they gave me money, but it still wasn't enough to cover like the whole school. Like they almost they were able to like pay for half of it, and right now I'm in the position of like, well, I'm gonna take it back to like when I first started going to school. When I first started going to school, you know, it was like I thought it was gonna be like this, like the whole like when you first start. I feel like, at least for me, it was super easy. You know, just go to school, wake up like pretty early. Like it wasn't like hella early, but it was like it was pretty early. Wake up, you know, go to school, come back, go to work with my dad. It was like I feel like I like this rhythm. Like this is I could do this like for a while.
Like
at least
you had a routine.
Yeah, I feel like I could do this routine for a while. But then after a while, you know, like today, you know, we work on remodeling houses and stuff like that. And it's hard, you know. And then there'll be days when I didn't want to go to school, you know, especially because, you know, once I got back, I had to get home and do homework, and it's just like I didn't like, my experience with school wasn't like the best, you know, in a way, especially. because I would come home and then I would be tired, you know, I don't know, I'm pretty sure you guys could like relate with that, you know, coming home from work and then just like, I don't want to do homework. And then so the way that the school that I go to is like, it's accelerated courses, so you're like it's every 3 weeks we switch over to a different course.
Which is pretty fast, like
Yeah.
especially because you're getting an associate's, right?
Yeah, it's just an associate's. I mean, don't get me wrong, right? An associate's like
No,
yeah.
but I mean that's what
like-
I'm saying.
no,
Like
yeah.
for every class to be 3 weeks and you're doing an associate's, like that's
Oh,
pretty
yeah.
fast paced.
hmm and like certain time like there will be like I'd have to finish a certain like how do I say this, like I would have to finish it in like a certain
Time
time.
frame?
Yeah, for so in between a certain time frame, because we had like online learning. And so like there would be days where like I would be like, okay, I just put it to the side, like the last week I'll do everything. And like it just it catches up to you, man. And, like there'll be days where I wouldn't like log on to the online learning, and like I would like they're called IOLs, and I would see my IOLs were like 9 hours long, and I would be like, dang, like I don't think I'll be able to, like there'll be days where I have to overnight them. And it's like, and I would remember like I remember waking up this one time when COVID started. I remember waking up and I had my I woke up and I had my laptop next to me, and I was like, I didn't finish my IOLs. And so I was literally like, the good thing is that I didn't have to drive that day. I used to commute with my friends, and I was doing them in the way, and like thank the Lord, I don't know why and how, but I was able to finish them. Kind of getting into like the topic of me getting tired, like it became a process that was just so tiring for me. And like to the point where like my grades started dropping, and like I didn't enjoy it.
You didn't have the same motivation.
I didn't have the same motivation that I had when I first started, right? Like for you guys who don't know, like I go to UTI. I like cars, stuff like that. But I just that passion that I had for cars, like when I first started going to school, wasn't there anymore, right? And I feel like especially because when you're first starting, like everything's easy. You find everything like so like, oh yeah, this is how every class is gonna be.
I think sorry to cut you off,
No,
right?
go for it.
But I don't necessarily think that it's easy. I think that because it's something new and we're motivated, that it doesn't feel like it. And like I guess something that maybe we can all relate to is having to switch to online learning. I know that for me that was like a huge discouragement because I am not the best with computers. Like if I had the choice to work like on paper or like on a computer, I would 1,000 times pick a paper because I love writing. Like I love having a pen and like physically writing in a piece of paper. I do not like online learning. My eyes hurt, like physically hurt, because of the online learning. And I know for me that was super discouraging, and I was just like, Lord, like what are we gonna do with this? Like I don't know what's gonna happen. I didn't know if like my graduation date would be pushed back. I didn't know if like if I would be able to take as many courses because everything was new. Like everything just changed so fast. And I think the point we want to bring tonight is like we all struggle with life. And just because we're sharing about school and like transitioning into work, I think that's because like we're in that season of life. We're transitioning from going to school, having a job, and getting that experience. But maybe you're like a parent, or maybe you're younger, you're barely thinking about college, you're barely thinking of applying, and just I know life can be so overwhelming sometimes, and life can be so like, or we can make it seem like it's so hard to understand. Like I know at least me, like speaking for myself, I make such a big deal of like something so small. Like I stress out so much. Like it could be like the smallest thing, and I'm like, no, it's not gonna work out. When I know fully that like God will make it work out at the end, okay? But it can be very hard to believe that in the moment. And I know that a lot of the times when we're in a hard season of life, it truly tests our faith, and it truly tests like who we really are trusting. I think the moments that like our hardest really push us to run towards God, which can be really good because it allows us to hold on to his hand and trust what he has to say and not what we want to do. Because I know personally, going back to like the whole school situation, before I even graduated high school, I had a full-on plan in my mind of like what I was gonna do. I was gonna graduate
Sorry to
and
cut
like
you off,
transfer.
right?
Yeah,
I feel like everybody does. Like you know,
Yeah.
everybody just like oh like it could be anybody, but like after high school, you like not that you exactly know, but you have an idea.
an idea of what
yeah,
you want.
Yeah. Because I know for me when I graduated high school, I was like, all right, I want to go to school. I want to go straight to work. I didn't like school.
Yeah.
Like to this day, I don't like it. Right. And I knew like from the beginning, like I wanted to go to work, but in order to do what I wanted, I have to go to school. So that's why I was like, I guess.
Yeah.
Continue.
No, definitely. Like, it truly, we all might have like a plan, but God knows what He has for us. And I actually wanted to share a bit about Soul. I know I didn't finish it, but Luis can go ahead and like finish that, right, for me. But from the parts that I saw was mostly the beginning and everything. But I saw that this man had like such a passion for music,
Yeah.
and
Jazz music.
yeah, specifically jazz music. And I got excited because I used to play the violin and like the flute and stuff in school. So, I have a little bit experience with like jazz band and orchestra. So, I got excited watching the movie, but there's this little number 22, if I'm correct, right? He's number 22. And basically, if you haven't seen the movie, it's based on like this guy that he like for his whole life, like he's wanted to have like this breakthrough, I guess, of like people getting to know him, like him becoming famous for his music, because there comes a point in when he's playing where he feels it like in his soul. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, right? But and he like gets like his mind goes somewhere else. Like it's not just him playing anymore. It's like a whole experience for him.
Yeah.
So the movie is based on him like basically being in a coma and like being basically in a limbo, ready to pass away, but he doesn't want to pass away. His soul does not, like his soul is unfulfilled. Like he is not ready to pass away. And he falls into this other place where it's basically all the souls that are on their way to earth are ready to like be born and start their life. And he's over here trying to finish his life, and he gets paired up with this soul that's like obviously a newborn, number 22, and many people have tried to show him, or like what life is about, to show him, like to spark an interest in him. And to be able to make it onto earth, you have to have like a purpose, you have to have a passion. And this number 22 does not, like, number 22 is stubborn, okay? Yeah. It does not want to have a passion. Like, they've tried everything from, like, baking to music and nothing. And they end up, like, trying to do it, I guess, illegally. I don't know what you can call it. Yeah. But they make it back down to earth. And the part that I left off, they just got back into the wrong body. So number 22 finally makes it onto earth, and number 22 is in this man's body, and this man is in a cat's body, which it's so bad because he wanted to go back into his own body to fulfill his purpose, but now he can't even do that. And I think that sometimes we may feel the pressure of like knowing exactly what we want, or we feel the pressure of like wanting to like have this certain life, I guess, because he was a teacher for most of his life, and I know that there's like we all have something different in us that gets us excited. Yeah. We all have something different in us that makes us happy, that it's not really a job, it's like a passion, it's a hobby. I know for me, even though I love music, don't get me wrong, but I love writing and I love talking. Like, if I could talk for the rest of my life, I would, okay? Just about, like, everything that I love. Like, I could do that for the rest of my life. And I know maybe for you it's music. Maybe for you it's helping others, being a teacher, whatever, like, you feel that is for you, that makes you excited and happy. That's, like, what you have.
Yeah.
Right? And at least what I got from the movie that I saw was like truly, I guess he didn't realize the impact he made on number 22.
Yeah.
Because think about it. Like, he was number 22 because they're based on like the numbers of from the beginning of existence to like now, and there was like hella people at this point, and number 22 still hadn't found his purpose. But see, when the moment that you forget about what you want to do, and the moment that you just are yourself and that you help others, and that's why I thought about it, because I'm like, God called us to serve. And how funny is it that when this man forgot what he was doing, and he just like, he didn't, I can assure you in that moment he probably forgot, he didn't forget about music, but he didn't focus on that. It wasn't like about him trying to have that like spark or thing anymore. It was about number 22 finding his spark. And I think when we are selfless, we can like, we don't stress anymore, first of all, about like what we want to do. And it's good for us to be able to like really depend on God and not trust in our own self, because something that the world does or says is like, trust in your heart, follow your heart. Like Disney does that too. I don't know if you guys have ever heard that. Disney's like, follow your heart, and I'm like, no, the heart is deceitful. The Bible says so. Don't trust that. So do not trust everything you hear online. Trust what the Word of God says. But yeah, like if you haven't seen that movie, it's a really good movie, and I love it because it talks a little bit about purpose. And I think like feeling lost, we all feel lost at some point. We all get discouraged at some point. You know, maybe it's not the same thing. Maybe you have a good experience with school. Maybe you don't have a good experience with school. Maybe you don't have the funds for school. Maybe you
don't like school.
Yeah, or maybe you don't like the job where you're at right now. Because honestly, you guys, like, I know sometimes people take jobs because the money is good and not because it's what you like. And I get it. Sometimes money is necessary, right? Like, it's essential here on earth.
And I kind of wanted to share a little bit more about that. I know you didn't get to finish it, but basically, like Gabby was sharing that this guy, he was a musician, and he, you know, played jazz. He played piano, and he wanted to play with this specific group and make it big, you know, at this certain club or whatever they were at.
Yeah.
And towards the end, spoilers.
Go for it. Go for it.
So basically, towards the end, he ends up finding a way to play with this certain professional group or the lady that he looks up to, and once he plays with them, like he had, you know, an amazing night, the night of his life. But what he found out later on was that they do the same thing every single day, every single night, and he was just like, so this is it. This is what I'm supposed to feel like. This is what I wanted to achieve, and that's what I kind of want to bring with this verse as well. If you look in Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5-6, it says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your path. And when I saw this part, it kind of hit me because, you know, sometimes we as humans, you know, we want to create our own paths. We believe, like, you know, at the end of this time in my life, this is going to happen and it's going to be amazing, right? Like for me, I have this desire, you know, to get this amazing job as an engineer, you know, work probably with NASA or aerospace or something, right? And that's my goal. I have it up there. And, you know, I'm working towards it. But if I'm not relying on God, trusting in God, you know, I'll probably get there at some point, but it's not going to be what I desire. It's going to be like, you know, like in the movie, like, this is it. Like, I don't find nothing
it's
in
going to
this,
be
right?
unfulfilling,
basically. And once you rely on God, God knows what's best for you. God knows you. God knows your purpose. God knows what he could use you for. Like Gabby was sharing, she loves to talk, and God could use her, you know, for her profession, her career, to have talking and involved in that, you know. And for me, I love, you know, serving people. I love, you know, making people happy. And so God might, you know, send me a different direction. Maybe my mind was set on engineering, but, you know, it might be, I don't know, some helping families, business, financial help or something, right? But it's all, you know, when you trust God, because when you do your own thing, you could go wherever you want, but you're just not gonna be fulfilled. You're not gonna be happy.
I feel like now that you're talking about that, like I feel like us as humans, we set our goal,
Yeah.
but we never
bring God into the picture.
Yeah, we never bring God into the
We
picture.
want to leave him out.
Yeah, like we feel like you were saying, like we're like, okay, like by the time I don't know, I don't know, by the time I graduate, like
Yeah.
I want to have like a good job and like a house and everything. But we don't think about like what does God want from my life?
Yeah.
Like what does God have? Where does God see me instead of where do I see myself?
Yeah, like what does
Like,
God want to use me for?
Mm-hmm.
Because I have seen it so many times, and I was just watching a video on it yesterday because like I said, I want to do a medical assisting program. So, I mean, obviously, I'm looking into it. I'm looking at like what is it that they do in their jobs and stuff for me to be able to understand before I even start the program.
Yeah.
So I was looking into it, and the woman was talking about like, you know what, don't do it just because of the pay. Like if you like talking to people, if you like being in that environment of where you're going to be helping others and, you know, being able to help them, not only like giving them their shots or like translating or whatever, but like if you really want to make a difference in someone's life, like this is the job for you. And if you don't, like, don't even try this job.
Yeah.
And when it comes to God, obviously God wants us to have like God wants us to be in a good place for us, you know, if we have a family, to be able to provide.
Yeah.
Obviously, he is the one that gives us the jobs to be able to provide. He is the one that gives us the opportunities to be able to do that. But if we really surrender our life to God and ask him what is it that he wants to do, he will like truly like transform it and like use you for what he wants. I've seen people that have studied to be like a nurse, a doctor, and then God is like, I'm sorry, but I need you to be a missionary.
Yeah.
And they're like, not that it's wasted, but like it kind of is, because if I would have just honestly taken the time to pray and ask God what it is that he wanted, I could have been like serving these people from like way before and like not spend my time on school, you know. And I'm not saying that school is bad, because school allows us to grow and to I think grow as people, to be able to have like people skills, to be able to help people, talk to people. Because think about it, if you're a missionary but you're a nurse, you can bless people with the skills that you know, the stuff that you learned in school. If you know, worked in an office or stuff like that, you can help people in different ways. But truly, when we leave it up to God, he uses everything. Like nothing goes wasted with God. Nothing at all. It might be like a quirk that you think that you have, or just a random thing that you know how to do. It's not coincidence. It's something that God strategically placed in you so you could be a blessing to others. So just ask him what it is. Whether it be like you're going to be an usher and you're going to be welcoming everyone through that door. Hey, how you welcome people truly makes a difference in their life. Like even a smile. I know maybe you can't see it right now through masks or everything, but you can still see it in your eyes, like the excitement of seeing someone and like them feeling welcome. Truly, let's not make life more complicated than it really is. It's the simplicity of knowing the Father and our Creator, the one who made us, the one who knows us ins and out, like in and out. He knows us, like he knows the deepest parts of our heart. He knows our deepest desires. He knows what we're good at. He knows our strengths, our weaknesses. So why not trust him with our life and put it in his hands? Obviously, we still have to put work in. We can't just like expect God to do everything. He can, but we have to work for it. We have to work for it truly. So if you are feeling lost or discouraged or you don't know what you want, we all feel you. We all understand you. We've all felt like that at one point in our life. But we're here to encourage you and to say God has something so beautiful prepared for your life. Trust him and seek him. And he will direct you into the path that he has for you. He will direct you into the plan that he has and the purpose that he has over your life.
So, so I don't know, can you turn it up a little? Just that's this song.
Turn it up?
Yeah, just turn it up. So this song, like I love this song, just because it says, "I run to the Father," you know. And then the verse that it says, he already said, right? It says, "You saw my condition. You had a plan from the start. Your son for redemption, the price for my heart. I don't have a context for that kind of love. I don't understand it. I don't comprehend. All I know is that I need you." So that's one of my favorite parts from this song, because it's like I don't I don't understand why. I don't comprehend why. But like I just know that, you know, maybe like I said, like Gabby was saying that I had said earlier, like yesterday, our 20s are always gonna be our hardest years, and I feel like I'm not the only one that's saying that because I'm pretty sure you're struggling, and you know we don't understand why, but we know one thing that we should know for sure is that God always has a plan, and the best thing that we could do is just run to the Father. You know, the best thing the best thing we could do is just surrender everything at His feet, like just go to Him and say, God, I don't know what your plan is. I don't know what you have in my life, but I know that all I know is that I need you.
Yeah.
And
I'm sorry to cut you off, right? But like, now that you're talking about that, the first thing that comes to mind, and something that I have learned, like while serving in church and while like just trying to follow God and in my walk with Him, is that you don't need to understand. You just need to obey.
Mhm.
Okay? Like you don't need to understand what God is doing. But if God tells you to do something, do it. Do it. Obedience is key, because through your obedience, people can come through to Christ. Through your obedience, like you don't know the impact that you can have on people by simply obeying what God has. And you don't know like what opportunities, what doors might open, what things you might come to understand if you simply obey what God is telling you to do. And I understand like obeying God like can be hard sometimes, because like sometimes I feel like we're like Jonah. God tells us to do something and we're like, go the other way. We're like, no, like I'm not trying to do that. Like it's hard. I don't want to do this. But God's like, if you would simply just obey. Just obey. I need you to do that. Do you know how many people like are going to come to Christ because of your obedience? And we don't realize it. We truly don't realize it. How much of a blessing we can be to other people. Taking the time to hear other people out. Sometimes when it comes to like our purpose in God, we tend to overcomplicate it. We're like, if I'm not a worshiper, a preacher, or like a deacon, I don't know what I'm gonna be. But it's like our purpose in God isn't always in church, or isn't just in church. It isn't just limited to that. Our purpose on this earth is what we can do to bless other people. Whether God is putting in your heart to bless someone financially, whether God is putting in your heart to be the person that prays for other people, whether God puts in your heart to, you know, outreach to the homeless, outreach to the people that don't have much, whether it be that God puts in your heart to work as a nurse. You know what? Nursing is not an easy career, but God can place you in that place to be of a blessing to others, because by simple obedience, we don't even have to speak or say that we're Christian. People will know. Then they will see that something different is in us. So truly, obedience is key. I remember I heard a song one time. I forget the name of the song, but it's like a ministering part. Excuse me. They just say, there's a yes in our hearts, and it carries through eternity. Simple obedience, it changes history. And I love that the song says that, because it's like there's something in our heart. There's something there. There's a spark in there. There's something that like we desire. Our hearts desire for God. But we completely don't understand. You know, sometimes we overcomplicate it. Like I said, you know, we think, oh my gosh, like I don't know what God it is. What is it that God wants from me? But God's like, just obey me. Just follow my commandments, and like little by little I will show you. Little by little I will open doors. Little by little I will close doors that need to be closed. And it can be hard in those moments when doors are closed, or when you feel like all doors are shut. But when one door closes, another door opens. And when another door opens, another one closes. So I think tonight is really just about trusting God, and to share. We've all had experiences where we feel discouraged, or we feel like we don't know what is next for us. And I can assure you, we're all here and we're not 100% what's next for us. But we are firm in the promise and who our God is. You know, He's a God that always comes through in His perfect timing. And that's another thing, you guys. In life, patience is key. Patience is key. We need to wait in God's timing, because sometimes
God's timing is perfect.
Yeah, and we want things like fast because think about it. When we want something, we just look it up and we're like, okay, I found the answer. I know being in high school, like the teachers are too easy, you guys. Like I remember looking up all the tests on what was it like Quizlet or something and finding all the answers.
Dang.
Uh, I'm just saying, right? Not that I did it, but I remember hearing of people that did that. And
They use their online resources.
yeah, using their online resources. But see, we have sometimes the answers at our fingertips.
Yeah.
And with God, it's not always going to be that way. With God, it's usually going to be waiting. But if God makes us wait, it's because He has something really good and something awesome planned for
Something
us.
that's worth it. God's never gonna make you wait for something that's just like
Yeah.
you get anywhere else. Like when God is gonna give you something, when God's gonna bless you, He makes sure it's worth the wait.
Yeah, no, and God, like, God comes through, you guys. Like, I think about it, and I think of my life, like, up to the point where I'm at, and I'm like, He is so faithful. Like, it's really in the little things. Sometimes I forget, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like, especially in those moments where you have a hard time, like, trusting in God. For me,
Yeah.
it's been school. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I don't have the money, but I'm like, hey, but I have God. Hey, but like, I'm able to still serve Him. And if there's anything that's better in life, then like anything is being able to just like come and surrender at the feet of Jesus. Like, there's nothing more fulfilling than that. And it's awesome because you get to learn that He is the only one that can satisfy us. He is the only one that can put in us that spark or that passion, just like, the movie Soul.
Yeah.
We might think that these careers or that a certain job or something will satisfy us, but when we truly understand that He is the only one that will ever satisfy us, and that by following Him, He will lead us into the right path, just like the verse that Louis shared earlier, like we win at life.
Yeah.
Because we don't have to be rich physically. No, we already know we're rich spiritually speaking. We have joy in our hearts, and joy is amazing. It's something that we can't receive from anything in this world. Joy is something that we can only receive from God Himself. So let's just learn to depend on Him. Let's learn to really trust the Father. This song is really good too, the one that's playing right now. We sang it on. Well, did we sing it on Sunday? Or no, well, we sang it like a couple, nothing else.
Yeah.
We sang it, yeah, on Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday, yeah.
This song has been specifically like of a blessing to me because it talks about sometimes coming to church and just coming and going through the motions and having a routine like some of us shared tonight. Having that routine of maybe like just doing school and going to church, or working a job and going to church and doing this and going to church and all that stuff. And honestly, sometimes our walk with God can begin to feel like a routine. Can begin to feel like, oh, it's just something that I'm doing, but it's time to get out of the routine and understand that He is enough, and He is the only thing that we need that will satisfy our souls. He is the one that teaches us, that corrects us, that truly expresses a love that no man on this earth can ever give us, a love that only God can give. And truly, even though life is hard, God makes it so worth it. He makes it so worth it every second of the day, every minute, every hour. He fulfills our every need, and He gives us everything that we might need. So we hope that tonight you are encouraged. We hope that tonight you realize that, we all have had those moments, that you're not alone, that it's okay if you don't completely understand what it is that God has next for you.
Yeah.
But obedience is key, and trusting Him is key. Keep on holding on to that promise, because the one who promised is faithful, and He always keeps His promises. So He opens doors when there are no doors that you think can be open. He leads us. He teaches us. He gives us the necessary tools to be able to fulfill what it is that He has. Sometimes we feel underqualified. We feel like we don't have the skills, we don't have the ability. But with God, all things are possible. all things. So the purpose that God has for you, no la menosprecies.
Underestimate it.
Don't undervalue it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah, don't undervalue it, because your purpose is as great as the next person's. We're all the same here, you guys. But hold on to God's promise and keep on holding on, because God is not done with you yet. God is faithful to fulfill his promises. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to Let's Be Real here in radioinnovacion.com. Your radio, your blessing. Remember, you guys can call us. I know that it's the end of the program, but save it for next week. The number is 925-384-0049. 925-384-0049. We love you guys, and tune in next week at 7:30. This has been Let's Be Real with Gabriela.
Caesar.
And Luis.
Have a great Tuesday evening.